Hello, and welcome to another Monday's live stream. I've got the fabulous Chris Walthamstone here from Crest Social, who is a bit of a Facebook guru, and we've known each other for years, and we've kept banging on about having a live stream together for ages, haven't we, Chris? And I was just like,
Absolutely.
let's do it. We'll talk about Facebook and how to grow your followers, but more importantly, how not to grow your followers on Facebook. So I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train businesses how to excel in social media and actually generate leads and business rather than you just doing it as a tick box exercise. And we'll go live every Monday at 12:30, sharing loads of social media tips and advice for businesses. And I get guest experts like Chris, who's here today. So go on, introduce yourself, Chris, and tell us who you are.
So I'm Chris Wolstenholme and I run Crest Social, which is a social media marketing agency. A bit where we differ from Bex is that I'm more on the business end. So I run people's accounts for them. So I might run their Facebook accounts, LinkedIn accounts, might run some ads for them, and that kind of thing. So less of the training, more of the kind of doing, but obviously we come across the same kind of things because obviously we're in the same industry, so we've got a lot of things that we agree on.
We have, and I think that's really important because in the whole world of Facebook, there are ways and means to grow your followers quite quickly. And today we're not going to be talking. We're going to be talking about what you shouldn't be doing when you grow your followers, but more importantly, what you should, because I totally agree with everything. Every time we've met, we've always totally agreed with each other on, social media is there to achieve your business objectives, and it's not a vanity unit. So Chris, you're going to share some don'ts to begin with, aren't you? What you shouldn't do to try and grow your followers on Facebook.
Absolutely, and I think the reason the don'ts are more in some ways more important than the do's is because that they can do damage. So by growing a following in the wrong way, you can actually ruin your Facebook page and have years of frustration kind of get it back, because you've done these things that you think are great ideas and a great way of following, and other businesses do them, and sometimes businesses are playing catch up. So they see the competitors have got X amount of followers, so they want that same social proof. So they kind of do things to get there quickly, which on the face of it don't seem like they do any harm, but can actually make every kind of thing you do on Facebook after that really difficult. I mean, if I've got a client who I get a page 5 years in and they say, I want you to manage my social media, I can tell automatically, have you done this? Oh yeah, we did that at the beginning, we just bought a few followers kind of thing. So it's something that's really hard to recover from. So when we talk about the don'ts, it's because again, something we both really agree on is it's not about followers, it's about engaged followers. People are going to engage with your content going forward, and I always say it's much better to have 50 engaged followers that might buy from you than 500 followers that might not be interested, or they're not your target market. So it's just really kind of it's about growing engaged following, and everything we should do should be to grow an engaged following of customers, potential customers, etc., and people who are going to actually get your business to where it wants to be.
Yeah, because it's a vanity unit, isn't it? People want to look good, but people forget that actually your social media isn't about looking good. It needs to look good, obviously, for people who potentially might want to buy from you, but it's not about having loads of followers. I've worked with earlier this year a property company. They were selling out, they were renting out student accommodation, and they've never made a sale on Facebook ever, and they only had 25 followers, and they were like, just doesn't work. And I went, okay, well, let's have a go. With their 25 followers, we made £53,000 worth of sales within 6 weeks just by doing the right strategy. We grew it to 100 followers, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so exactly that. It's like you said, 50 engaged followers is money in the bank potentially.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think with other parts of people's businesses, they realize that to get what they want out of it, you've got to put the work in. And it's exactly the same with social media, even probably to more of an extent sometimes. So anything that seems like it's going to be an easy way to grow on social media and something you don't have to put much work in is probably not going to kind of give you the results you're looking for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'll kind of go into it. So the first one is kind of begging for likes, and there's a few things people do on this. I mean, I had one, and I'm in a networking group, and there was someone just put their random kind of wife's business in the WhatsApp group and said, "Oh, we were looking to get to 500 followers." I don't know where they'd come up with the number 500, but this is what they wanted. So they put it in. I imagine they put it in more than one WhatsApp group, and they're saying, "Oh, we're on 300 now. We only need a couple more." And the problem is, most people will give you a like if you ask.
Yeah. It's that
So
sympathy vote, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I'll
Sympathy
help
like,
you
yeah.
out. I'll do my good deed for the day. I'll follow that page. The
Yeah.
problem is when then that you follow that page, you forget you followed that page, and then all of a sudden this random piece of content appears in your feed. And what do you do? It's not. It doesn't look like it should be in your feed. It's not something that you're interested in, so you just ignore it. And then what happens is the algorithm will say, "Well, Chris wasn't interested in that," but there's another 100 Chris's that also aren't interested in. So they've almost all these people that have given them a like, and there might be some people that are like, "Oh, actually, I'm quite interested in that. I might buy it," but the majority of people are not going to be a relevant audience, so they're going to skip it. And the problem with social media is you don't unfollow things anymore, do you? You just stop
No, you
seeing
don't.
them. So as
Yeah.
soon as you've seen it 3 times and you've not engaged with it, the algorithm thinks, "Oh no, we won't show that to Chris anymore." But I'm still one of their 500 followers that they're
Yeah.
so happy about.
Yeah.
But I'm a dead weight, and it's always going to make it harder. So the moment they put a post up now, they might have lost those 100 people and say, "Well, only." If, I mean, probably a good thing if 75% of people care, but obviously 100 people caring about their content is good, so they've already lost that kind of thing. And if they're doing that in other groups and other ways of doing it, then it's not going to work. And then there's another really easy one. It does the rounds every kind of 4 or 5 months, where one business will share it and then every other business seems to share it. And there's a feature in Facebook where you can go into your settings and you can invite all your connections to like your page, but you can also share that link so that your connections can ask all their connections to like the page. And now the problem
That's
with
all
this
your
one is,
friends, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's
So
like
your
all your
problem,
personal friends. Yeah.
yeah. So and then you don't know it, but the notification comes up. Oh, Peter, who I play paddle with, has invited me to like a hairdressing salon. So
Yeah, and he's
I've got to
probably
make a
bald.
decision. Is this Peter's wife? Do I want to give this a follow? So I kind of think, well, it might be Peter's wife. Why not? And Pete, we get on well at paddle. I'll give this page a follow. Again, I'm not the target market for a salon. I don't even think I follow my own barber on social
No.
media. So it's not something that the way I figure out I need a haircut is when my hair gets a bit long and I think, oh.
Yeah, the number's in your phone.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, it's on the basis of it's something quick you can do to help me in my business. And the reason why it's so frustrating for me is because I'm thinking you're just about to kill your Facebook page, or you're just about to make it much
Yeah.
harder by inviting all these kind of random people who are not necessarily your target audience. So
Yeah.
again, I mean, we'll go into how you find your target audience, and I imagine people already know about how to kind of get your target audience on your Facebook page. So again, it's this kind of followers for followers' sake. It might work, the tactic might work, but it's short term and it'll do long term damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes you look like you're popular, but really you're not.
No, absolutely. And
Yeah.
you might say, well, I did it, it worked. I've got 600 followers. That means like 600 followers to me means that I've got 600 people to sell to. But again, if only 10% of them are interested, and the algorithm's going to say, well, they're not even going to show it to that 10% necessarily, because
No.
they're going to show your content to a few people from the get-go. And if the few people it shows it to are the unengaged audience, then
Yeah. And
even the right audience don't see it.
that's it. And I think a lot of people think that if they've got 600 followers, that those 600 people will get their post, don't they? When in
Mhm.
actual fact, it's only about 2%, isn't it? That actually the post goes into the newsfeed
Absolutely,
unless
but I
they're
mean, I've got
engaged.
I've got
Mm.
clients that have got much higher. It's like 25-30%, and those
Yeah.
numbers are kind of in Facebook terms are unheard of. But if you do it the right way and you build it, and it does take time and patience and understanding what your target audience are going to engage with, then it can kind of work. It's just all about how you go about it, really.
Yeah, it's all about getting that engagement from people who are genuinely interested, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. I suppose the next one, again, we see this in Facebook groups quite a lot, especially like local business groups where there's more than one business owner. And it's a kind of, well, we're looking to build our business, so we'll follow anyone. If you put your page in the comment, we'll follow all the pages and then you follow us. So all these businesses are, we're just supporting each other, we're growing together. But again, getting them to follow your page is one thing, getting them to interact with not only your content but these other 25 businesses that have posted in this group that you've all decided to follow because you think you're getting this kind of reciprocal kind of agreement. Again, as soon as it starts showing up in the feed and is not relevant, then people don't engage, and they kind of think they've done the bit by, well, I got a follower and they gave me a follow, that's job done kind of thing. But actually, again, is a if a florist is exchanging a follow with a car mechanic, it's two completely separate audiences, isn't it? It's not like
Yeah.
they're going to be kind of like. So again, it's building that relevant audience, and these little kind of tricks and kind of things that people do to kind of build a following is going against that and making the growing an audience, but they're not growing an engaged or interested audience.
No, no. And I have the saying, I think people say, oh, sharing is caring. Share my post, it means you're caring. But again, if they're sharing it to the wrong audience, it can do more harm than good because nobody engages with it. So the algorithms think that your content's rubbish, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just saying watered down. I mean, if you can get that relevant audience and you put a post up and some of them pick it up, and we'll talk about how we flip that on its head in the do bit. But it's just so much better. So my next one is engagement pods. These are more a LinkedIn thing, but I do think they happen on Facebook, the little WhatsApp groups that kind of hang out outside social media networks. So a big group of people that say, right, as soon as you put your post up, you put it in the group, and then they all go on and they leave a reaction and a valuable comment. It has to be a valuable comment because you can spot these posts a mile away because everyone's like, it's not the kind of behavior that people normally put. Oh, like tagging someone in. It's like really kind of thought out responses, and it's quite obvious. But again, and the kind of theory behind it is if it gets some early meaningful engagement, then it's going to show it to everyone. But it doesn't take the algorithm long to realize the only people who are engaging are those same 4 or 5 people. So it's always going to show it to those people, but not necessarily then. It might do it initially thinking, oh, this is a good post, it's kind of, this is working. But then when that keeps happening and the same pattern, but then again no one else is engaging with it, it's kind of again it's stopped dead. And I don't know what happens when people leave these engagement pods, where it just kind of falls flat again. It's
Yeah. Again, it's just that getting that artificial boost, isn't it? But
yeah,
it's I mean, I've looked at some before, and you can join Facebook groups, can't you? In Facebook engagement groups, and oh my goodness, you've got about 50 odd posts. I mean, who's got time to go through that all day? You know, we support our posts in the social flock with my members there, but you know, it's like we don't we don't expect people to post and go through 50 odd posts, spend half a day doing it.
I mean, you got to look at the opportunity cost of going through 50 posts and leaving a meaningful comment. You could have built a really good social media strategy for your own business and a content calendar for the next month kind of thing. But you could kind of, so the time could be better spent elsewhere. I mean, I'm the same. If I'm in a networking group, we always try and like follow each other on LinkedIn and support each other. And I think that's really good. But it's not as forced as these kind of engagement pods, and it's just kind of and if I see something that I'd like, that I think my network, so if I've got a photographer and sometimes he'll share his posts, and that's relevant to my audience, people who are looking for social media, also looking for nice pictures and websites, so I know the kind of content that I can share that will resonate with my audience. So again, it's about being strategic about what you're sharing and why,
Yeah.
and is it actually relevant for your audience? Like you say, sharing is caring, but also pointless if it's not in the right place.
It is. It is, because if you follow someone because you're genuinely interested in them, I can't remember who it was. I followed someone, I was genuinely interested in what they had to do, but I could see they were just being really nice and sharing loads of other people's content, and and it's just like, well, I'm not interested in this. So you
No,
become disengaged, don't you?
I had a
Mm.
client that did it. So you'd be like, I'd be going and filming videos, really high quality pictures. It was a restaurant. And then I get a notification, someone liked your post, and I was thinking, oh, that's weird, I've not put a post up. And it was like they were sharing the 3 shops down their post. And so I went into the manager, I said, what's going on here? He said, they've got this agreement that they'll share each other's posts, and it's a nice kind of thing. But like you say, some people who are looking at a social media feed to find out what they want to eat, and then they're getting all a post about dresses and stuff, is
Yeah.
almost like, well, yeah. It was kind of done in the right way, because it was, I think they would say, and we're local businesses, we support each other, and they're
Yeah.
trying to target people who. But I got a bit annoyed because I always ruined my feed, ruined my Instagram
Yeah. Ruin the work
feed.
that you've been done. But yeah,
Yeah,
but it is true, actually. If you've got a good business network and they all know what you do, and you do support each other's, that's absolutely fine, because they can potentially refer you clients, particularly if it's in sort of service sector.
yeah,
But yeah, but not where you join these groups where you're all anonymous, you don't really know each other, and yeah, it's bizarre, I think, the way people try to get more visibility and work around the
yeah.
robots, the algorithms. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think one guy was some kind of food coach, and then like all of his engagements was like from Americans, and you're like, it's like, it just feels weird, like, and they had like random, like, because on LinkedIn you can kind of see what the job is as well, can't you? So
Yeah,
like on
yeah.
Facebook it's just the name, but on LinkedIn it kind of says what they do, and you think this guy is really interested in nutrition, even though he's other side of the world and got a completely unrelated business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I've saved my best one for the end, and I think this, if there's one thing that can kill a Facebook page dead, it's this, and it's buy-in followers.
I was going to
So
guess that. That would
yeah.
have been my top one as well. Yeah. Go
I've
on.
had I've had it with clients where I've started posting and they've got maybe 8,000 followers, and you think, no
Mm.
one's saying this. These numbers don't stack up. So you always have the phone call of, have you ever bought it? Oh yeah, just 1,000 or so in the beginning, and it's like, well, it's kind of ruined the page. So you've even built 7,000 followers on top, but you've
Yeah.
kind of not been able to recover from it, and you can tell it's like, I'd expect this page with good content. Obviously, not everything I put out is great content, but I kind of hope I
Yes,
have an
it is. Of
idea.
course it is. I think you know
And
more than most people, put it that way.
yeah, and the algorithm loves to keep us on our toes. You can spend 6 hours editing a reel that gets about 15 viewers, and then
Yeah.
alternatively, you can put a post up in 5 minutes that kind of goes. It's just the way it is. If we kind of had the blueprint about knowing which post was going to connect and which wasn't every time, I think we'd live in very big houses, wouldn't
We
we?
would. We would. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I understand why people do it, especially kind of startups, and they always talk about social proof, and um, social proof's a massive thing in marketing, isn't it?
Mm.
The difference between a post that's got no engagement and 300 people have liked a post,
Yeah.
it's people, the psychology of I'm doing what everyone else is doing is massive, but at the same time, it's like if you're Nike, yeah, buy 3 million followers, fine, absolutely. Don't you might not. I don't think they're relying on people engaging with the social media. But if you're any organization with kind of less customers than Nike, I think you have to go about it the right way, and it's difficult, and it
Yeah,
might
you
take a
do.
long time to get that social proof. But
Mm.
that's unfortunate. That's just the way it is.
But it's so cheap to buy followers, and I think people don't realise what they're buying, and they think they're actually buying genuine people's accounts who might engage, but they're actually buying a load. I mean, I've seen them. I don't know if you've seen the
Yeah,
warehouses
with
in
the
China with millions of just phones lined up with Facebook accounts or whatever, and you're buying a robot to follow you. Well, that robot is never going to buy from you. It's certainly never going to
no,
engage. And the interesting one is when I first started. A company I was working for, they've done exactly the same. And I was like, why are we getting no engagement? And then I realised, so then I had to spend ages going through deleting them all. And then the next thing that happened as well was why have we lost 300 followers overnight? It's because Facebook had figured out they were fake accounts and had just deleted them all. So it massively affects your stats as well, doesn't it? It's just
I had a client that did that same thing. I started taking followers away, and then as soon as it went below a figure, it was like, oh, we need that figure back. I was like, well, we'll get them back. We're just going about it in the right way.
Yeah. But once I'd got rid of all these followers, I couldn't believe the difference. The engagement just goes through the roof. Yeah, it was brilliant.
And I've had pages with a couple of hundred followers that have outperformed one with thousands of followers if they've bought followers. And it's like, because that couple of hundred people were all engaged and were commenting and engaging, and then on a regular occurrence, Facebook was showing it to people outside the network, and especially if those people were sharing it, it was a way of getting outside that network. So even though on paper it looked like they had 250 followers, in reality they were reaching 1,500 people a week, whereas the page with thousands of followers was struggling to get 100 people to see each post. You know what I mean?
So go on then, Chris. What should we be doing to grow our followers on Facebook?
Well, fortunately, it's really simple. All you need to do is create great content that's going to resonate with your audience. Only joking. Obviously, it's much it's much harder than it appears. But I think with a kind of a smaller audience, you've got to. I always feel like social media is a bit of a free hit, because if your post is bad and no one engages with it, then you just go again because no one's seen it. So you just have another kind of go. So I'd always kind of say just kind of experiment, see what connects with your audience, try different kind of topics, whether it's frequently asked questions your clients ask you, whether it's something you feel like they might like to share, whether it's using humor. Try all these different things and see what kind of gets people to react, whether you ask questions to your audience. Some audience will happily kind of answer questions, some audiences are a bit quieter, especially if it's like something to do with, like, I've had clients in foster care and home care, and it's not something naturally people share about. So you've got to be realistic. But then what you do, so you experiment the content and then look at your analytics and see actually which resonated with my audience the most. How can I create more of that? What can I do to make that post better? And it's just about, and it is hard, it's not easy, and it's going to take time, but you've just got to keep persevering and keep experimenting, keep checking the analytics, and keep kind of altering it depending on what your audience engages with. So we're going to go over some kind of easier tactics than just creating great content. But the kind of initial thing is, don't worry about your following. Just try and create some content that you think resonate with people. If you need to use things like Facebook groups where you kind of want to get outside your existing audience initially, I never tell people to rely on groups, because that group could go away tomorrow, kind of thing. So when you've got good news, or you want people to be aware of you and you can find your target audience, use them, but just don't rely on them too much. But Facebook has got a really kind of good little thing on the back end, especially if you use Meta Business Suite, where you can periodically go and invite people to your page who've engaged with your content previously.
Right.
So so if they've commented or liked your content, then you can go, it can be 5 at a time. For some of my clients, it's over 100 at a time. You can kind of invite them all in one go, but you're inviting people who've engaged with your content. So if they've engaged once and they've seen some content that's resonated, it's going to happen again. And not everyone accepts the invitation, but if you add 2 or 3 people a week, you're adding 2 or 3 engaged followers. So that is a fantastic tool. Not with Facebook, they move it every time, but if you do use Meta Business Suite in the back end, when you go to the planner on a day where you've not put any content, you usually find it there. But if you want, I can send a few instructions after if you want to share it with
that'd be good. I'll put it on there.
But
because I think that's the biggest challenge, getting the right content. But if you can get people engaging, you can then invite them. And the beauty about Facebook these days is it shares content a little bit wider than your followers these days, doesn't it? It's more based on interests.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think content ideas is one of the hardest things to come up with. So you can get 101 free content ideas. I've got a little download. I've put it in the chat, but that's why, again, it's just a little simple PDF that people can just download to get some of those content ideas, because it's really difficult. But yeah, no, that's a great tip. Thanks, Chris.
The next one is, it's only really applicable to physical businesses, but a lot of physical businesses don't do it. So if you're, say, a restaurant or a cafe, you could have your Facebook links in your kind of menu or on your menu board or a QR code somewhere, because then you're converting actual customers into your Facebook followers. They'll be almost like your ambassadors. They're your actual kind of, they're going to take it to the next level. So there's also like, people want Wi-Fi everywhere they go, so you can set it up where someone has to follow your page to log onto your Wi-Fi, or at least get on your email list. But again, taking your actual customers, people forget that they're actual customers sometimes and think, I just want to build this new audience. And I think not only are they guilty of trying to always build a new audience, sometimes people are guilty to always talking to a new audience. And I kind of say to people, look, you've got to remember, the majority of people on your page have chosen to follow you. They know who you are. They might be your customers. So always kind of, if you copy, always, oh, this is where we are, and try us out. And you've got to find that balance. You obviously do want new customers, but there's obviously the marketing thing is always, it's a lot cheaper to retain a customer than it is kind of get a new one.
And they know, like, and trust you, so they're much more likely to buy from you, aren't they? Yeah, no,
absolutely. And they're the ones that are likely to, if you've got an event on, your actual customers who already go. Whereas someone who's not aware of you and you see you've got an event, they've almost got a kind of, oh, what's this place like, etc. So it's much easier to convert your existing customers with social posts than it is kind of someone who's never bought from you before. So it's just being strategic about making it easy for people. Like QR codes are good, or if you've got the same link, just say follow us on social, or if you can make them kind of give up their kind of Facebook follow for the Wi-Fi. But again, that seems like a cheap tactic, but it's a customer you're asking that. And the other one is good. They have the little counters that people like. I think they had one at one of the Anston boat lifts, so it's a little counter with the social media following, and when you follow it, it kind of moves on one.
Does it? Oh, I've seen that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So people like that, they're good for events and markets and things like that. So it's just to kind of, again, giving people a reason to follow you, which obviously with the don'ts, we've said like these are tactics, but these are tactics we're actually saying to your existing audience, if you know what I mean. So your customers. So it's about who you're asking, who you're getting onto your Facebook page. Is it some random follower, or is it someone who's a potential customer or someone who's going to engage with your content?
Yeah.
So the next one is, I think it's just social media 101 really, and I think it's the problem people struggle with most is being consistent. If you're putting 4 or 5 posts up a week consistently, and you're learning from it and you're improving your content, over time your following will grow.
Absolutely.
And then there's other, like, if you're, for example, you talked about how Facebook algorithm's changing, and it is pushing out content away from your audience now, but there's other things you can do. So experiment with like reels, because Facebook's trying to compete with TikTok right now, especially on the short form video front, especially Instagram to an extent, but Facebook also. If you're doing a reel, you'll see when you go in the analytics, see the breakdown the audience, 25% to your existing followers, 75% to a new audience. Now that's something you couldn't do on Facebook. A lot reaching outside your audience on Facebook has always been super hard. They did it when they first came up with the lives. Do you remember lives? Every time someone went on a live, it was like
my
it was
lives
just on
used to
your
get
feed.
thousands of views, but it's old news these days. We don't get quite.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're trying to take that piece of pie from TikTok. It's reels and working really well to get outside your network. So experiment with reels, experiment with carousels, experiment with stats, see what's connecting, and just again, not be consistent, but experiment with the different types of content. And again, it's not going to be, you're not going to go from 100 to 1,000 in the space of a few weeks, but if you're adding 50 followers every 6 months or whatever, you're growing your following, and if them 50 followers are actually potential customers. And then I always say to people, like, they would say, oh, I've only got this amount of followers. And like, how many, I speak about how many clients do you need a month? Well, only a couple.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. And also your existing followers who do love what you do potentially could refer more business to you. So I think people forget that actually it's a long-term strategy, isn't it? Social media. It's not about your quick wins. This is a
yeah.
long-term strategy. Yeah.
And the other funny one I shared it on Threads recently, is people say, oh, I've only reached 150 people. So, and I always say, I got a picture online. I asked Google, I was like, show me a lecture theatre with 150 people in it.
Yeah.
And then there's all
Exactly.
there's this full lecture theatre. And
Yeah.
you say, would you be comfortable getting up and talking to all those people? Oh,
Mm.
no. But
Yeah.
150 people on social media isn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. And that's why you've got to, it's like if your lecturer turns up and he's just dead boring, monotone, and no one's going to listen, are they?
Yeah,
and it's the
absolutely.
same on social media. Whereas if you get some content that excites people, that really connects with them, they're going to look at it and they're going to take notice, aren't they? And that's what counts. Yeah.
And my final one for now, and I don't know if you might have some to add or we can talk about some more, but it's collaborations and tags. So collaboration is really powerful, is when if they accept the collaboration, then your post appears on their feed as well as yours.
Yeah.
So especially if it's relevant and there's a partnership going up there for a reason, it works very well on Instagram, but Facebook also has that feature to have a collaborator.
Yeah.
Or you can tag people in. Because of the things we've talked about how most street people struggle to be consistent. If they get to Thursday or Friday and they're not posted on social media, and then you put this post up with them tagged in, the likelihood of them sharing it is quite
Exactly.
high, because it's a ready-made post. It's shouting out them. It's relevant to them. It's relevant to their followers. So it's a kind of no-brainer, really. So whenever you get the opportunity, whether you're working with people or you're at an event, if you can try and collaborate with people or tag people in, that's a really powerful tool. Again, it's not always easy to get outside of your network, and that is one of the ways that you can do it quite easily.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I'm conscious of the time, Chris. It's been really, really useful, and totally agree with what Chris does. He is extremely good at what he does. If you want to connect with Chris on LinkedIn, please do. I've just put the link in the chat. I'll visit his website. He's just about to launch a fantastic new one, aren't you, as well? Yeah, but go on, Chris. Tell people, just to finish off, how they get in contact with you or how you can help when it comes to
connect on LinkedIn. I'm quite active on there these days. One of the things I've always struggled with up until this point is being consistent with my own social media, but I'm getting there now, and I'm getting normally like to be behind the camera, but I'm even pushing myself in front of the camera. So you get to see more of me talking. I've got a little series right now that's me versus the algorithm. So it's me having little conversations with the algorithms.
Yeah.
The LinkedIn algorithm wears a suit, and the comment I seem to keep getting is, I didn't know you owned a suit, which is fair play, I suppose. So yeah, connect with me over there, or if you're on Instagram or TikTok, look me up there as well. And hopefully, if anyone's got any questions after this or want to follow up, feel free to get in touch. I'm always happy to talk about algorithms and kind of social media. So happy to do that.
Yeah, no, that'd be brilliant. Thanks, Chris. And again, if anybody wants any ideas of what to post on Facebook, please do download the free PDF that's in the chat. Thanks so much, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you've got any questions, please do pop them in the chat. We will follow them up after this live stream as well. So even if you're watching this on catch up, please do ask any questions. We love questions, and we're always happy to answer those. And we'll see you next week at 12:30 for another live stream on lots of tips on how to grow your followers on other platforms. And yes, thanks, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.